Hi traders, and welcome to the daily recap show for yesterday's US session, which was Thursday the 14th of July. So we started with the SPX and we said it was showing weakness again, and we had support at 37.35 to 37.43, and we needed to gain acceptance below there to see moves lower. However, we said if we saw a move up, initial resistance was at 37.52 to 37.59, with main resistance today at 37.96 to 38.02. So let's go and have a look at the S&P from yesterday. So as you can see, we opened up and we got that push down below that support zone at 37.35 to 43. We then actually got a continuation pattern here on the retest. So this was a valid short. Managed into this trade. If you was going to take, I think it was valid to try and hold that for a bigger move down, having held that zone. So I would have managed it in this section here, and I think it, like I say, if you had booked profits, fine, you would have got a nice sort of 1.5 to 1 there. But I do think it was valid to potentially hold that for a lower move, having held what was quite a key support zone on a retest, and holding it as resistance. So that would have then been a break-even trade. We then got this push up above the zone. You actually got a little reversal trade here as well, and again this probably was a valid trade. You had a corrective pull back into that zone, having held it. That did break down, so actually that would have been a losing trade there. If you was already in this trade, you wouldn't then re-enter here, but that was another option. If you'd missed this trade, potentially you could have shorted off that, but that would have been a losing trade. We then got the push back up, and we held it as support here. And again, so once you've got the push back up above that zone, it becomes support again, and we get a reversal from here to take that higher. We did say initial resistance pre-market was at 37.52 to 59. That was quite aggressive just because it's not a lot of room between there. But that you could have managed this trade into this zone and then held it up to this main resistance at 37.96 to 38.02. Which did hit late in the session. So a few opportunities there on the S&P. On the short side, certainly one loser and then one sort of break-even, maybe a winner, but probably a break-even trade. But then once we saw that false break, the long would have worked quite nicely up to the main resistance zone. So now let's go and have a look at the Dow. Okay, Dow was a little bit choppy yesterday. We didn't have any real key zones of note that we was really had our eye on. But we said that if we got sustained break below 302.25 to 302.75, we need to focus on sells only. Resistance comes in at 305.50 to 30600 and 307.60 to 30800. So let's go and have a look at the Dow yesterday. Okay, so fairly similar action to the S&P actually on the Dow. We had this actually key zone at 303.25 to 303.75, but we had this other bit of support I just wanted to clear before we actually started getting really bearish. We got that push down very much like the S&P, and we come back and we got a continuation pattern almost identical to the S&P there. This did push down, and again, if you hadn't managed to risk manage this trade, this would have been a losing trade as we held it on, as we then broke up. But if you had managed to risk manage that, there was room to risk manage that as a break-even trade. We then got the push up, and just from the zones that I wouldn't have necessarily looked to trade from here. I would have wanted to see a break up back above this zone here before starting to get long. You got the push up, you got the pull back down, and then this was where we got the second push up. Nothing really here on the retest to be able to get long on. That then pushed up into the resistance zone at 305.50 to 305.60. Didn't quite get to the 307.60 to 30800 zone. We have got to that overnight, but not in the session. So I think this one was probably the only trade on Dow that I would have liked. Even once we got the break up, there wasn't really anything that I would have liked to have traded, just because the zones weren't as clean, the price action wasn't as clean going into the session, and you could tell from the reports that there wasn't too much in terms of the way of the zones that I was looking at. So the opportunities definitely come better on the S&P yesterday. As always, I hope you found this useful. Please let me know what you think of the reports. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come join the Keyzone Traders community by clicking on the link in the box below on our YouTube channel to join the Keyzone service. It's completely free of charge. You get to come join the Keyzone Traders community and interact with like-minded traders about these reports. So I hope you're finding these useful. I hope you've had a great week, and I'll speak to you again next week. Cheers.